You could hear everybody's head explode right now and go, wow, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? Define a high-performance car. What is a high-performance car? Okay, how I got on this topic today was this morning at like, I don't know, 4:30 in the morning. I'm getting gas for the Challenger. I'm getting a cup of coffee and one of the local quick checks before I hit the highway. And I hear this ruckus going on in the parking lot. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit going on? And I got one guy trying to get a car into the spot, into like a parking spot in front of the, to go get into the convenience store. And I look around, I'm thinking, oh, whatever. And what do I see? I see some fucking shitbox Honda with a big fart pipe on it, some stickers, slammed to the ground. Okay, he can barely, the car is so low, when he's trying to move the car into the spot, it's rubbing the tires and all that kind of stuff, and he's revving it like it's an F1 car, trying to get into the spot. We all know what I'm talking about. So I'm looking at this shitbox Honda, and I'm thinking, what a piece of shit. But in that kid's eyes, it's a high-performance car. So I was thinking, like, okay, well, it probably doesn't do anything right. It's too low to the ground to handle properly. He probably gets slammed around from every pothole he hits. The fart pipe doesn't do anything for performance. It's probably a stock 1.8 or 1.6 motor in there with some shit on there to make it look high performance. Okay? So I'm thinking, how do you define a high-performance car? And I'm thinking, okay, well, I look around and I look around all the cars and I'm thinking, okay, well, Toyota Prius could be a high-performance car. I think it's a high-performance car. And I could hear everybody's head explode right now and go, wow, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? You drive a Challenger. You should know what a high-performance car is. I'm like, well, if you really think about it, what is a high-performance car? Okay, I can't answer that question, because if you look at it, a simple fact of a Toyota Prius, okay, what is it designed to do? It's designed to be great gas mileage, efficient, and cheap at the same time. You know, it's supposed to combination. It's the epitome. It's the mecca of economy cars. People who buy Priuses thinking, okay, economy. They can stretch that gallon of gas to the maximum. You can get, whatever it is. So if a car is designed to be the best in its class of what it does, then it's technically the high-performance car. It's a high-performance car. Okay. Let me give you another example. And this is going to really blow your mind. How about a, I don't know, I'm looking in the parking lot here. Okay, how about a Honda Odyssey? Honda Odyssey, 7-passenger mommy soccer van. You always see the little small mommy driving it and putting around town. But if you pop open, and I'll get back to understand where I'm going at with this, okay? Hang on, don't go anywhere yet, okay? You guys always like to click off, and when you hear something you don't like right away, you don't want to span out the video and check out the thoughts that's in this head. Okay. Look at a Honda Odyssey. Now you're saying, how is that a high-performance vehicle? What are you talking about? Well, pop open the hood of one of those Honda Odysseys. What do you see? You see what I would call a detuned F1 engine sitting in that Honda Odyssey. It's got tubular headers. It's got a wicked intake manifold with all the stuff going on there. Dual overhead cams, cam phasing, all that kind of stuff. Produces close to 300 horsepower. Think about that. That's unheard of 20 years ago. 300 horsepower, a little 3-liter motor sitting in a mommy van. And to boot, those Odysseys have, I don't know the type of transmission or what model it's called, but it's the precursor to the dual clutch setups that you see in a lot of these cars. And what I mean by that it's not your typical automatic transmission where you have clutches and bands and output and input drums and all that kind of stuff for you automatic guys who know what I'm talking about. Okay, it is essentially a electronic, manually shifted transmission. It has cog gears in it. It doesn't have like a regular transmission. If you ever take apart one of those Honda Odyssey transmissions, they look like a freaking like a dog box, like a synchronized gearbox, basically, with electronic servos that are switching the gears for you. Crazy. Those things could do 120 miles an hour. You could peel out, go. I mean, those things are fast for a mommy van. Now, you look at back and you go back 20 years ago, cars were unheard of. Even the high-performance cars, so-called high-performance cars, muscle cars, couldn't match the performance of a fucking minivan that you see these days. So, would you consider that a high-performance vehicle? or I don't know. It'll depends on where you're looking or what you're stepping in. You know, somebody that drives a quarter-mile car, a fast quarter-mile car, would say, yeah, that's a high-performance car. But can it handle? Can it do everything else? No. So technically, is that a high-performance car, or is that just a one-way dedicated car to do one thing, and that's it? So what we think about as high performance, it's kind of like a mixed bag of thoughts there for me, because, you know, when you define it as high performance, some of these cars that they claim are high performance are not high performance. Okay, case in point, go back to early muscle cars or whatever it is that you see all the hoopla, and based upon what even the challenges are based upon, as far as Hemi power, Hemi, you know, that has the big words inside, Hemi, you know, but that came from the big elephant motors of what, the 60s, the late 50s, no, mid 50s, yeah, mid to late 50s to early 70s. You got the big Hemi elephant motors, but those things were technically high performance back in the day. But to me, boy, I'm gonna get a lot of flack on this, because I know the muscle car guys and the people I know are gonna really freak out when I say it. But to me, I don't think those cars are high performance cars. Those cars were shit boxes back in the day. They didn't handle very well. They didn't brake very well. They had a big giant motor in the front. Yeah, it sounded great. It had a big cam in there. It was fantastic to drive. You felt like a man when you got out of the car. You smell like gasoline. Yeah, you know? But those motors overheated, didn't run very well, always got to change spark plugs all the time on there, adjust valves, all this kind of stuff you got to do with that. You couldn't take that car like you can with these new modern cars. You know, you get 500 horsepower with the AC on and heated seats and, you know, whatever. Even this base RT, this RT Plus with 375 horsepower can outrun a lot of those muscle cars back in the day. When you consider this is not considered technically a high performance car, because when you look at the other cars that are out there, this is sort of like the mid pack of what it can do. But when you compare it to something else, oh yeah, it's like light years ahead of it. So that's what I'm saying. But even those motors, those old ancient setups, weren't very efficient. They weren't very good engines. Yeah, they had a lot of hoopla around them because they, you know, those were in race cars, they were in NASCAR, all that kind of stuff. But to live with that type of car and engine every day was crazy. That's why a lot of the guys bought a 440 or a 340 or whatever it is, because they didn't want to deal with all that crap. Okay, so you already think I'm crazy now, but look at a Tesla. Look at an electric car Tesla. Is that a high performance car? Because it sure, I mean, to me, I would consider it a high performance car. It performs, I mean, it does 11 all day long. It's an electric car. It might not make you feel like a man when you get out of the car, but the numbers are there. So I don't know. I mean,